How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered. As you can see, we are in a lovely environment, a once better-looking location for sure, of fine furniture and design, and not damage, but damage found its way here, along with chaos and death. Emiya is dead. There, I guess, is just no way around that. We had to, walk back a little bit. The original decision that I had made leads to a bad ending, and, well, it absolutely 100% went straight for a bad ending. No way around that. Choosing the other choice that we were given, well, it led to the same shit. However, we got an interlude, and we have a little bit more going on between Rin and Shirou. But we're still here. I don't know if the plan... I guess I'd have to assume the plans have to change for how we're going to tackle going after Caster and Co. Because there's just no way we could just go in, Shirou try to fight Archer, that's not going to work, and then Rin's going to die to everybody else. It's just not going to happen. So, not sure what's going to, come up here, but guess we'll wait and see. The sun sets. We return to the hall by the time the gray sky is tinted a crimson color. The girl's corpse is not on the mountain of rubble. Tosca and I just buried her in the courtyard. Perhaps because that's what always happens to servants, the black giant's remains had weathered into sand. But even if it was just sand, we still buried it in the same coffin as the girl.
さて、これからどうするかだけど、考えはある？
考え中だ。事態がまた悪い方に転んだからな。
そうね。最大の敵だったイリアスフィールとバーサーカーはいなくなったけど、代わりにわけわかんないやつが出てきたし、サーバントは7人しか呼ばれないはずなのに、あいつで8人目でしょ？どう見ても既存のサーバントじゃなかったけど、シンジのやつ、どこであんなのと契約したんだか。
Well, I don't know if a contract was actually made between the two, but they are working together. The eighth servant, huh? I don't think that man who Shinji brought along can be treated as a servant. A heroic spirit that absolutely dominates other heroic spirits. He has a seemingly endless supply of noble phantasms and is a demon without any human emotion.
ギルガメッシュ。それって古代メソポタミア神話に出てくる英雄だよな。
ええ、半神半人の英雄。ウルクの王、不老不死の探求者。この世の全てを治めたとされる暴君だけど、まさかあんなイカれたやつだったとは思わなかったわ。バーサーカーをこともなげに倒したことといい、あいつ本気になったセーバーより強いかもしれないわね。
Tosaka's voice doesn't sound sharp. It doesn't seem like it's because the new enemy that appeared is tough.
どうしたんだよ、トサカ。奥歯に物が挟まったような言い方だけど。
ちょっとね。あいつ確かに強かった。あれだけの数の宝具を持ってるんだから、その力は一級品でしょ。けど実質はどうなのかなって。私、あいつとバーサーカーにそう実力差はないと感じてたんだけど。
What, like raw output of, like, power or whatever? She ponders. Wait, does Tosaka not realize how strong he is?
いや、あいつ自身はセイバーやバーサーカーと同じか、きっとそれ以下だ。そもそも英霊の強さは召喚された土地での知名度によるんだろ。ならギルガメッシュなんて英雄、こっちじゃ知ってるやつはそうはいないぞ。
それはそうだけど、知名度による実力の変動だってそう大きいものじゃないわ。私にはどうもあの金ピカは反則めいて見えたんだけど。
Tosaka is calling him by a strange nickname. Well, that aside.
いや、だから反則だって。あいつの持ってた宝具はみんな本物だ。いや、そうじゃなくて、きっと本物の元になった武器なんだ。
Yet Shirou really pieced that one together extremely quickly.
ギルガメッシュは一番古い神話の英雄で、あらゆる贅沢を尽くした王様だったんだろ。なら各地の神話の元になった原点を所有していてもおかしくない。
じゃあ何？あいつが出してた宝具は宝具じゃなくてただの武器ってこと？
だろうな。あいつの宝具自身は きっと蔵なんだ。生前にあいつが集めた財宝を収納した蔵こそがあいつの宝具なんだと思う。
And we're still piecing things together extremely quick here.
そっか。ならバーサーカーが叶わないのも当然よね。英霊たちにはそれぞれ弱点がある。すべての宝具の原型を持つんなら、相手の弱点となるものを持ち出せばいいだけの話だもの。
That's right. If there is a chance of victory, it would be that he has not fully mastered each weapon yet. If he is not a bearer that can master his own weapon to its fullest potential, like saber or lancer, then I feel like there's still a way to win, and there is. Well, that aside,
なあトサカ、本当に関係ないんだけど、なんで金ピカなんだよあいつ。
ああ、いや、それはその髪が金色だったからとか。
I'm trying to remember, did she call him that in the previous route too?
何言ってんだ。それならセイバーも金ピカなんて呼んでたはずだ。金ピカ、すごいぞ。実に意味ありげじゃんか。ここまで来て隠すなよ。トサカ、なんか気づいたんだろ。
ちょっと違うってば。私のはシロみたいに真面目な話じゃないから、あんまり追求しないで。
嘘つけ。根拠もなしで金ピカなんて呼ぶもんか。ほら、白状しろよトサカ。
あ、
I stare at Tosaka. After a few seconds, Tosaka must have given up, as she lets out a big sigh.
だからそれは、あいつ高価そうなのいっぱい持ってたでしょ。それでものすごくお金持ちなんだろうなって。
Wait, that's the connection you're making?
だから金ピカ、あの金ピカすっごい贅沢してそうじゃない。
Tosaka scratches her cheek as she looks off into the distance, laughing uncomfortably. Wait, what was the servant data that changed here? Oh, okay, Gilgamesh, okay. I was gonna say, did we really try to associate that nickname somehow here? Eh, whatever. Tosaka scratches her cheek as she looks off into the distance, laughing uncomfortably. How scary. And it seems like anyone rich is considered a Goldie to Tosaka. And what's more scary is that Tosaka was able to tell that servant's true nature just because he seemed rich.
ともあれ、厄介なやつが出てきたものね。8人目のサーバントって時点で破綻してるのに、そいつ自身がジョーカーなんだもの。問い詰めようにも監督役の綺麗は行方知れずだし。まあ、今はキャスターの方が大事だから後回しにするしかないんだけど。
That's right. Caster is storing more power as we speak. Saber, who is resisting Caster's control, won't be able to defy any longer. No. In the worst case, there's a possibility that even Saber is on the enemy's side now.
そうだな。イリアスフィールの協力は得られなかったけど、だからといって放っておくわけにはいかない。こうなったら、2人だけでキャスターを倒せる手段を考えよ
う。そうね。何のアイデアもないけど、やるしかないか。
Tosaka sighs and sits down on the rubble.
まさかお城で作戦会議することになるなんてな。
Yeah, and one that got really fucked up too. Aren't there like other people that live here too? I follow Tosaka's lead and sit down. Well, we'll be able to stay warm here at night. We might even be able to find the magic items Iliasvale had. And the moment that we let our guard down... Oh.
お前たち二人だけで裏をかく？そんなの通用するわけねえだろ、間抜け。
Who is this? A fed-up voice echoes from the front entrance. We jump to our feet right away and face the front. There he fucking is.
お二人さん、お互いしぶとく生き残っているようで何よりだ。
Wait, did you really just walk through this giant-ass forest for a few hours to come here as well? Why is this such a hot spot? I quickly concentrate and connect my magic circuit. The man that appeared is definitely Lancer. He speared my heart that night 10 days ago. I can't let that happen again. I need to at least let Tosaka escape before he swings that spear.
シロ離れて。あいつは私が引きつけるから その間にあんたは2階に。
遠坂走れ。あいつは俺が食い止める。遠坂は一旦外に。
Oh no, their stubbornness is... They're clashing.
ちょっと待った。あんた自分を大切にしろってさっきの話全然聞いてなかったみたいね。
She lowers her left hand that she had pointed at Lancer and points it at me. But even if she threatens me like that, I also have complaints.
バカ言うな。忠告は聞かないってちゃんと断っただろう。殴り合いはこっちの役目だ。あいつとは2度目だし、ここは遠坂より俺の方が向いている。
そんなわけないじゃない。相手は歩兵よ。飛び道具がない相手に飛び道具である私が逃げてどうすんのよ。
Guys, is this really the time for an argument?
だからこそだろう。懐に入られたらおしまいってわからないか。いいから遠坂は遠くから援護してくれればいいんだよ。
バカ、援護なんてできるか。あいにくそんな器用な魔術なんて知らないわよ。やるならあんたごと吹っ飛ばすに決まってんじゃない。
自分の壊し屋っぷりを開き直るな。だいたいどうしてそう何でもかんでも派手めでいこうってんだお前は。たまにはもっとつつましいことやってみろ。キャスターが遠坂はいらないもんって言ったのあんまり無視できないぞ本当。
なんですってこの。
And we argue for a few minutes, trying to push each other away. Just about when we start to wonder how this started and start to get tired, we notice Lancer observing us with a smile at the entrance of the castle.
あ、もう終わりか。別に急がねえから最後まで済ましちまいな。相手への不満はとことん吐き出しといた方がいいぞ。
I cough in regret and glare at Lancer. I take a half step forward and Tosaka is slightly behind me. Jeez, there wouldn't have been a problem had we been like this from the start.
ああ、待て待て。せっかく同意を得たところ悪いが、こっちに戦う気はない。見るに見かねてな。少しばかり手助けしてやろうと出しゃばりに来たわけだ。
Bro, you could have opened with that. You could have saved us like a good 10 minutes. Hold on. What did he just say?
聞き違いかしら。今手助けをするって聞こえたけど。
なんだ、わかりづらいか？なら言い直すか。お前たち二人だけではキャスターたちには太刀打ちできん。できんだろうから俺が手を貸してやると言ったんだ。
Okay, so this is interesting. Let's say he does team up with us. Why was it that the other route wasn't going to work? Where was he in the other direction? You know, just that one choice, whether to restrain ourselves or to try to help Ilya. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it for like no reason, but it bothers me, man. My eyes widen, but Tosaka quickly grasps the situation.
そう、本当に出しゃばりね、ランサー。聞くけど、それはあなたのアイデア？
いや、俺のマスターからの指示だ。キャスターたちがああなっちまった以上、一人きりの身としては協力者が欲しいんだと。ま、連中を潰すまでの共同戦線ってやつだな。
So his master is still alive.
まっとうな理由ね。けど、それなら私たちよりもっと頼りがいのあるやつがいるでしょ。
And that means that there is still one more master that we have not gotten to meet here. And I really wonder who that is. Is she talking about Shinji and Gilgamesh? Tosaka seems to be trying to find out whether Lancer knows about Shinji.
いや、あれはダメだ。とてもじゃないが性に合わん。戦力的には申し分ないが、いちいち背中の心配をするのも面倒だろう。
No, they didn't work all that well together in the previous route, that's for sure.
正しい選択ね、ランサー。けど、それもあなたのマスターの指示ってわけ？
それも違うな。あんたらを選んだのは俺の趣味だ。一度面識がある分話が早いだろう。
He says casually. It seems like fighting Archer and stabbing me in the heart are the same as becoming acquaintances in his mind.
待てランサー。俺はお前に2度も殺されかかった。だっていうのに、お前の言葉を信用すると思っているのか。
Shirou, I really don't think we've got a fucking choice here.
思っているさ。お前の参謀はさっぱりとしたいい女だからな。そんな女が手を貸すってんだから、お前だって物好きなお人よしなんだろ。
Can we talk about how this man is like always man-spreading here? I frown unintentionally. I'm troubled that Tosuka, who's supposed to be my ally, is nodding at Lancer's words.
そういうわけだ。
Okay, now he's
だか
not
ら
anymore.
協
It's all
力できる
good.
って思ったのさ。ああ、言っておくが、お前たちがじゃない。お前たちなら協力してやっていいとこの俺が思ったんだ。
I honestly can't tell the difference in the way that he reworded it.
大した自信ね。協力しようって持ちかけておいて、選ぶのはそっちってこと？
ああ、初見からあんたのことは気に入ってたんだぜ。美人で強情で肝が据わっていると来ている。女をマスターにするんならな、あんたみたいなのがいい。
Lancer looks at Tosuka with cool eyes. I don't like him for some reason.
いいわ。私は賛成。けどまだ決定じゃない。エミヤ君が信用できないって言うんなら、この話はなかったことにするけど。
だそうだ。どうする小僧。お前、器を試されてるぞ。
Lancer looks at me, trying to suppress his laughter. My answer is... Wait, there's actually a choice? But wait, we can actually create a condition? That's interesting. It's not just a frank yes or no. We can create a condition, but what would that condition be? I'm kind of curious. So this actually may lead to the true last Tiger Dojo bad end of this route, because that was alluded to in the previous episode. But like, it's so obvious here. We need help. It has to be a yes in order to continue on. But there's not just a yes, there's not just a no, there's a yes, however. I kind of want to go for that. My curiosity is definitely leading me in that direction. I want to know what that condition is. It's a little vague here. What could the condition actually be? You know what? Yeah, let's say yes, however. We have to accept his offer. Even if he is an enemy, his argument is correct. Tosuka and I alone can't beat Caster, but there should be some hope if we have Lancer's help. However...
わかった。お前の言い分は信じる。けど条件付きだ。キャスターを倒すために手を貸してもらうし、俺たちもお前を信用する。その代わり。
その代わり、なんだ？俺のマスターを教えろってか？
Oh, I'm down with that.
違う。仲間だからって気安く遠坂には近寄るな。
Interesting. The air freezes. Lancer becomes speechless as if he was completely caught off guard.
なるほどなるほど。そりゃそうだ。俺のマスターなんぞよりそっちの方が何倍も重要だよな、坊主。
I mean, I'm fine with it personally. He starts laughing as if it's the funniest thing he's heard.
なんだよ、悪いか。言っとくけど、遠坂はやらないからな。
まさか
I dig
悪く
this.
なんかね。
I dig
む
this
しろ見
choice.
直したところだ。いや、いいね、お嬢ちゃん。坊主、あんたにぞっこんじゃないか。
Yes, sirree.
何言ってんのよあんた。私とシロはそんなんじゃないわよ。そう、私たちはただの協力関係なんだから。
Cooperating closely.
そうか？
なんかムカつくわねあんた。何よその見透かしたような顔は。ほら、シロもなんか言いなさいよ。私たちはただの協力関係だって。なんか言いなさいよ。
Oh my god. This shit is so cute. What the fuck, man?
これじゃ本当に私たちが付き合ってるって。
だから本当も何もとっくに出来上がってんだよ、お前たち。傍から見てる俺でさえわかるのに、当の本人たちがごまかしてるだな。ああ、こりゃこの先も大変だぞ、少年。
Guys, real talk. That's the best case scenario. Lancer makes a sympathetic gesture.
まあ遠坂が大変なのはもう分かってるから。
I reply with a sour look to let him know that there's no problem.
ほう、そりゃ頼もしい。んじゃあ俺もそれなりに気を使ってジョーちゃんと付き合おう。だがまあからかうと面白いジョーちゃんなんだな。道中楽しませてはもらうぜ。
分かった。その線でいこう。キャスターを倒すまであんたの力を借りる。
This is like it's not a lackluster, yes, however, sort of choice. It's just that it felt like the seriousness kind of dropped off, which is probably a good thing, you know?
決まりだな。
But the seriousness in another way really grew. Lancer comes up to me unarmed and shakes my right hand that I awkwardly put out. There are worrying factors, but we were able to obtain a reliable ally. All that's left is...
このカッタが来た。いいわよ。あんたたちなんてこっちから願い下げよう。こうなったら私一人でキャスターをとっちめるんだから。
she'll get over that later. How can I calm the roused Tosuga down? Well, I guess we're working with Lancer now. Which, you know, very strange, but it is what it is. Okay, so something else changed here. Is it with Lancer? No, nothing here has changed, I think. I don't know what could have changed here. Oh well. Somebody will tell me in the comments. We walk in the forest at night. Although we don't know what his intentions are, having Lancer's cooperation now means that we don't have to stay at the castle. Lancer must have taken a liking to Tosuka, as he keeps messing with her and getting hit by her.
ちょっと、あんたね、ちゃんと自分のマスターがいるんでしょ？ならおとなしくしてなさいよ。キャスターを倒したら敵同士になるんだし、話なんかしてもしょうがないでしょ？作戦会議以外はみんな無駄口よ、無駄口。
なんだ、敵になるからって話はなしか？見かけによらず余裕がないんだな。相手が敵であろうと気が合うなら膝交えて語り明かすってのが情だろうに。
いつの時代の人間よ、あんた。そういうね、明日には殺すけど今日は親友だなんてのは今時流行らないの。やるとなったら徹底してやらないと相手にも失礼じゃない。
はあ、そりゃまたつまんねえ世の中になったもんだ。
Lancer never learns. I feel like they've been repeating the same kind of conversation for a while now.
それよりランサー、自分の役割きちっと分かってるんでしょうね。
ああ、梅雨払いは任せておけ。お前たち二人でキャスターとそのマスターと戦うんだろ。
Okay, that actually works, because there's absolutely no way Rin or Shirou can deal with Archer on the outside.
俺の役目はアーチャーの相手だ。最悪セーバーもどうにかしなくちゃならんが、まあ抑えるだけなら問題ない。
Lancer speaks objectively. He isn't even scared of fighting both Saber and Archer at the same time. Come to think of it, Saber told me when we were training in the dojo. She said Lancer is the best among the servants when it comes to just surviving. No, I mean, really, if you think about it, Lancer really just pulled a, come in, do some damage, really make himself known, disappear for 10 days act, then actually show up wanting to be friends. He really just pulled all of that out of his ass here. Like, he has not appeared once since the night that Shirou joined this war, which is crazy. He did a fantastic job of just, not being involved, which is probably going to work out to his benefit here. He stayed on the defensive. He stayed completely out of the spotlight while everybody else was pretty much in it. So his defense skills and, not dying seem to be really high. It's just that whenever he was forked to the front in the previous route with Gilgamesh, that's sort of when, things just didn't work out, and he also didn't really mesh well with him. So that was that. But also something happened to his master in the Fate route. And Kodamine has to have something to do with that, because I'm pretty sure he killed him and then took Lancer, maybe? I think that's how it went down. there's still questions to be had. There's still a master that we don't know. She praised him, saying that he had excellent agility and plentiful combat experience, and that he would be an impregnable defense if he went into defense. He must have fought many battles from disadvantageous positions when he was alive. The aloof man must be a heroic spirit who ran through the jaws of death many times and survived.
それはいいけどな。敵はアーチャーとセイバーだけじゃない。キャスターの下にはアサシンもいるんだろう。なら、最悪あんたの相手は3人ってことになるぞ。
ああ、そりゃやべえな。あの野郎は苦手だ。できれば1対1でもやり合いたかね。あの手のやつは遠くから仕留めるに限るが、まあ、その心配は不要だな。アサシンは教会には現れない。
どうしてそう断言できるのよ。キャスターが竜道寺に戻らないなら、門番としてアサシンだって呼び戻すんじゃないの？
Yeah, she did have him stationed over at the temple, so I wonder, why not bring him over to the new hideout, the church?
いや、アサシンはキャスターが呼び出したサーバントだが、それゆえに制約がある。奴はあの場所そのものに呼び出された命令だ。竜道寺を離れることはできんし、何よりキャスターが呼び戻さんだろう。
Okay, so that definitely limits our enemies. Assassin won't be there. Archer is going to be on the outside for Lancer here to deal with. Then it's just Shirou and Reen that have to be able to deal with Caster and her master, which are both pretty serious threats.
あれはキャスターがマスターに黙って独断で召喚したサーバントだ。マスターが教会にいる以上は隠し通すし、おいそれと竜道寺を手放すこともできまい。
Ah, okay.
竜道寺を手放せない。それってつまり
聖杯の召喚場所があの山だからだろうな。知っているか？聖杯戦争は今回で5回目だが、聖杯が呼び出される土地は4カ所ある。そのうちの一つが竜道寺であり、教会でもあるわけだ。
I mean, we knew about the temple for sure, and it was actually stated in this route that it
場所
was.
は教会だったらしい。4回目はどこぞの平地だったそうだ。
へえ、戦ってれば幸せみたいな人だと思ったけど、意外に物知りなんだ、あなた。
単にマスターが小難しいやつなだけだ。お前たちの事情に関心があるわけじゃない。
けどそっか。じゃあ今回の召喚場所って1回目と同じ場所に戻ったってことなのね。
Tosaka mumbles while she ponders. Lancer watches her with delight and walks on in the dark forest, as long as it's not the same place as the last time. I'm tired of seeing that fucking CG. It's deep into the night, and the date has long since changed. Dawn should be breaking by the time we get out of this forest and return to town. I mentally prepare myself as I walk. We will challenge Caster one more time in a few hours. I won't hesitate, even if that girl has become our enemy by then. We'll defeat Caster. I have to accept that that's the top priority right now. We head to the battlefield. No matter what waits for us at the church at daybreak, we can't stop now. Okay, we're heading in with a better plan, that's for sure. So nothing could go wrong this time, right? 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 Totally right. Yeah, definitely. Well, at least it doesn't seem like we're going to go into another situation where we get pretty deep into a battle, and then it's like, oh, you made the wrong choice. You have to go back, and then you have to, like, repeat so many of the lines again. Before that, there's just one more conversation. When they get out of the forest and day breaks, before they head to the church, the girl tells him the fact that she had kept hidden.
今のうちに言っておくけど、シローが返してくれたペンダントね。
She doesn't say what that means, and he doesn't pursue it further. That is because that is an unnecessary matter when they are about to fight their biggest enemy, Caster. Only one pendant. The one that he found in her room and returned to her. The one that he picked up that night and put into his desk. Now is not the time to be pursuing that contradiction.
言っておかなくちゃいけないのはそれだけよ。シローが私の部屋で見つけたペンダントって あーちゃんに返してもらったものなんだ。私はてっきりあいつが拾ってきてくれたものだと思ってたけど。
The decisive battle is near. The roof of the tall church can be seen in the corner when looking up at the sky. That is interesting, though. Tosuka says that she wants to confirm things one last time. Our roles are decided. Lancer will draw Archer and Saber away from Caster. We will use that opening to fight Caster. In response to Lancer sarcastically asking if we'd be able to defeat Caster...
まあね。私とキャスターを1対1にしてもらえれば、まず裏をかけると思う。
What about Shirou? Tosuka replies with confidence. I don't know what she means by outwitting her. She wouldn't let us even if we had asked, but so it must be a strategy that has a lower success rate if she tells her allies. Or she just wants to keep it on the down low, it's whatever. Then all I need to do is fulfill Tosuka's demands. I will keep Kuzuki from protecting Caster no matter what. I'll project his swords however many times is necessary to do that. I close my eyes and dive inside myself. The magic circuit that flows inside me is stable. Magecraft beyond one's capacity will destroy the user themselves. The first time, half my body went numb. The second time's projection was surprisingly easy and had no effect on my body. There's no guarantee that the third time will be the same, but I think there should be no problem if it's just copying his swords. My body is stable. Through sheer awareness alone, I have access to the magic circuits that were so difficult to create before. It's like there's a fake nerve behind my normal nerve, and I'm able to reverse them with just the press of a button. Well, yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. That's pretty much how Rin was describing it. More of like a switch, though. There's part of me that wants to believe it's because I got used to it. I can easily prepare the swords. Projection has become my primary weapon. It's improved greatly compared to 10 days ago. Not only has the control of my magic circuits improved, but even my sword technique has improved. Good thing we went to the dojo with Saber. The reason behind it? I stopped myself from thinking about the reason. It's top priority to defeat Caster and get Saber back. Asking myself stupid questions can come after the battle. My headache gets worse the closer I get to the church. It's just like when I was looking for Tosuka, but I stopped thinking about that. Oh boy, oh boy. The sunrise is gray. The sunlight is blocked by the clouds, sealing the dawn's brightness. The sky above is cloudy. The sky is closer to black than gray and reminds me of that time 10 years ago. Is it going to start raining soon? A dull white sky. That man was standing under the cloudy sky that smelled like it had just stopped raining. He stares at Tosuka with cool eyes. Tosuka doesn't say anything and stares back at Archer. Yeah, this time around we actually have something.
ああ、とりあえずてめえの相手はこの俺だ。
驚いたな。私を失い、数日と経たずに新しいサーバントと契約したか。やれやれ。私もそうだが、君の移り気もなかなかのものだ。これは、たもとを分かって正解だったかな。
Oh, you're jumping to some funny conclusions here, Archer. No contract has been made.
構わないわシロ。あいつの挑発になんか乗らないで。
Well, I failed. I already got provoked. She stops me, still staring at Archer. But it's obvious looking at her face. Even if she knows that he's provoking her, it doesn't change the fact that those words hurt for Tosuka.
前から気に食わねえ野郎だと思っていたが、てめえ、少年から腐っているようだな。
ほう、裏切りは勘に触るか、ランサー。自分が裏切られたわけでもないのに、律儀なことだ。
別にお嬢ちゃんに肩入れする気はねえよ。単にてめえみたいなサーバントがいるってことが気に食わねえだけだ。
英雄の誇りか。まったく。どいつもこいつも同じようなことばかりを口にする。あのキャスターでさえそんなくだらないものを持っていてな。死した身で今さら 何の栄誉を守るというのだ。正直私には君たちの考えが理解できんよ。
ああ、しなくていいぜ。考える手間を省いてやる。
Conversation ceases between the two of them. All that's left is Lancer's sharp intent to kill, and Archer's calm intent to kill. They are about 10 meters apart. The knight in red and knight in blue confronting each other is like a reenactment of that night.
ランサ
Actually, it is pretty cool that, this is round 2 for them.
お前たちは中に行け。こいつをぶっ倒したら俺も行ってやるからよ。
ー分かってるけどランサーアーチャーは
ああ、手抜いてやる。あいつには土下座してお前に謝ってもらわなくちゃいけねえからな。
I mean, I wouldn't have necessarily said that was something that needed to happen, but whatever. Without looking back, he smiles while still staring at Archer.
ありがとう女力に来てくれたのがあなたでよかった
We go around the two and run to the church. Archer, the guard, casually lets us go through. No, he had to let us through. Archer's already confronting Lancer. If he gave us attention in such a situation, he would get stabbed in the chest by Lancer the next moment. Either he doesn't let us go but gets attacked by Lancer, or he lets us go but confronts Lancer. If he is really guarding this place, the choice should be obvious. We run around the courtyard and open the door to the church without hesitation. Behind us,
まったく面倒なことになっちまったな。
何がだランサー。
いや何、あんな顔で礼を言われた日には手抜きもできねえ。そういうの困るだろ。おいそれと主を裏切れない身としちゃ少しばかり眩しいってもんだ。
随分と甘いのだなランサー。君は隣の芝生は青いという言葉を知っているか。
何言ってやがる。なもん俺が知ってるわけねえだろうが。
Lancer is such an interesting character now that we're kind of seeing him in a totally different light.
悠長にやってる時間はないわランサーがアーチャーと決着をつける前にキャスターを倒すわよ
分かってる。ここから無駄口はなしだ。それと本当にキャスターを任せていいんだなトサカ。
ええとことんまで追い詰められるだろうけどそれでも手は出さないでシローはクズキ先生をできるだけ引き離してくれればいい
The thing is, if we can actually defeat Kuzuki, that would be huge. That's it for Caster. We go past the chapel and head to the door leading to the courtyard. I won't hesitate if Tosaka says so. Most of all, I don't know if I could back Tosaka up even if she were in trouble. My opponent is Kuzuki. I wouldn't even be able to dodge his first attack if I'm paying attention to Tosaka. Caster's presence is getting closer. She must not even be hiding her powers as the church is surrounded by Caster's magical energy. With this amount, she must already know about our raid. Oh yeah, of course. That's 100%. I knit together the illusion as carefully as I can using the 8 steps. I got used to it, as his swords are in both hands within a minute. I feel a light headache. Even though I'm getting used to it, it takes some sort of toll on my body after all. Projection is certainly affecting my body without me realizing it. Oh, come on, don't make that face. Please don't. Is it my imagination? For a moment, I thought Tosaka had hung her head in sorrow while running next to me. Yeah, let's ignore that. It's not important, I'm sure. We go down through the darkness. We run down the stairs that go underground and go out to the open area. And after that, we jump off of the railing of the stairs down to the sanctuary like before.
あら、飛び降りてくるなんてまるで猿ね。何を急いでいるのだか知らないけど、人間なんだから階段ぐらいは使いなさい。
We land in the sanctuary. This is supposed to be a surprise attack, but Caster greets us with composure. Well, yeah, we just talked about how she knew that we were coming. There is Soichiro Kuzuki standing beside Caster. I feel no enmity or bloodlust from him. That is his battle posture. His clear murderous intent is even hiding the dreadfulness of that man. In that regard, he's even more like an assassin than the servant assassin right now. Saber is at the altar. The situation is the same as 2 days ago. Saber is still tied from the ceiling with her head hanging down. I'm relieved we made it, but at the same time, it worries me how awfully quiet she is. I feel like Saber was a bit more in pain before. She was shaking slightly as if breathing with her whole body to go against Caster's magical energy. But she's silent now, like she's frozen. I have a bad feeling. It's good Assassin is not here, but we won't be able to get out of here alive if my worries are true. Yeah, if Saber is,
いろいろ考えたんだけど、やっぱりあなたには消えてもらうことにしたわ。
If Saber truly has become an enemy to us, it's over, 100%.
目障りだし邪魔だし煩わしいし、何よりその格好が気に食わないのよね。今時紫のローブなんてどこの田舎者よって感じでさ。
What the fuck? Man, she's just attacking her verbally. Tosaka insults Caster, who is full of composure, as if refusing to lose against her. Even though she's saying such things, she must actually be feeling the opposite from the way she's slowly closing in on her. Now's not the time for me to be concerned about Saber either. If Tosaka is going to close in on Caster counterclockwise, I'll close in clockwise. Caster and Kuzuki, if we're going to separate them, we have to attack them from both sides and isolate our enemies.
見逃してもらった分際で随分と勘違いをしたようね。今時の魔術師は皆こうイノシシ頭なのかしら。これではアーチャーが見限るのも当然ね。
Damn, the strike back. Tosaka's insults must have worked on her, as Caster is glaring only at Tosaka. I use that opening to move. I move to the other side of Tosaka where I can attack Caster from the other side. Kuzuki watches that in silence. I knew it. There's no way that man won't notice something like this. He's aware of everything. The fact that we're trying to defeat them one by one, and the fact that Tosaka has some kind of plan. Even with that in mind, Kuzuki is letting Caster do as she wishes. It's not like Kuzuki is being manipulated by Caster. He became Caster's master of his own free will. But still, based on his passivity, Kuzuki is close to a puppet. A servant who is skilled in providing backup using magecraft, and a master who is skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Their roles are reversed, and I feel like their way of being is reversed as well. Caster, who does persistently seek the Holy Grail, and the master protects Caster without his own will. That makes me think without a reason that if Caster was a master and Kuzuki was just a servant who protected her, then they wouldn't have fallen so low. Tosaka looks over at me. It means our positions are perfect. Then, the match will be settled if either of us attacks. Whether Tosaka and I get defeated or Tosaka defeats Caster before that, our battle with Caster will end here.
それじゃあ始めましょうか。あなたとの小競り合いもこれで3度目。いい加減ここで型をつけてあげる。
Tosaka steps in closer to Caster.
大きく出たわね。まさかとは思うけど、本気で私に勝てると思っているの？だとしたら腕比べどころの話じゃないわ。今回も見逃してあげるから、まずその少年を直してらっしゃいな。
そんなの勝てるに決まってるじゃない。だってそうでしょ？あなたみたいな三流魔術師に一流である私が負けるはずないんだもの。
そう。なら仕方がないわ。その増長、厳しくしつける必要があるよね、お嬢さん。
Oh, there they go. They brace themselves at the same time. With a few meters between them, they look like mirror images. That is the signal. I attack the defenseless Caster. There he is. And of course, I'm blocked by Kuzuki's blow. The ghost-like assassin is in front of me. I don't have the composure to watch over Tosaka and Caster's fight. He already knows my intentions. He will not let me buy time. Letting out the snake that cornered even Saber, Soichiro Kuzuki comes to take my life. I can hold him off for 1 minute at most. And that should be the same for Tosuka. Originally, this was a battle with no chance of victory had the roles not been reversed. There is no way we could win against enemies who surpass us in both hand-to-hand combat and magecraft. But looking at it the other way, we can at least put up a fight. Tosuka would be killed in an instant if she fought Kuzuki, and Caster would end me just by pointing at me if I fought her. On the other hand, we might not be able to win, but at least we won't get killed in an instant. In other words, this battle is not about how we can defeat them, but a battle like walking on a tightrope to see how long we can hold off an opponent who is superior to us. Yeah, I'm down with it. Alright, an interlude. Are we gonna go see what's up with Lancer currently? Maybe? I think so. The lethal weapons cross. The twin swords and the spear repeatedly attack, trying to take each other's necks. Those attacks are continuous without hesitation. Every blow that is released is meant to kill. Lancer is not an exception. Even though he told Rin Tosuka, his ally, that he would take it easy, that becomes secondary once the battle starts. It merely means that if his spear happens to miss Archer's heart and does not kill him instantly, well then he won't finish him off. Even in that case, his enemy will die. But Lancer would just need to drag Archer to Rin Tosuka before he does. Lancer does not care what happens after that. Wow, pretty light. The Crimson Demonic Spear invades the enemy's territory. The spear breaks through Archer's defense each time it is thrust. It is different from the battle from before. Archer cannot handle Lancer's attack that he was able to dodge that night. It is only natural. This is the second battle. Lancer was bound by a certain command spell. To learn his enemy master's strengths, his master told Lancer,
お前は全員と戦え。だが倒すな。一度目の相手からは必ず生還しろ。
Wait, that's not Kodamine, is it? That's not Kodamine, right? Kodamine killed his master and took Lancer. Whose voice would this be then? That sounded like Kodamine. That is the only command he was given. He obeyed such a ridiculous command, and his no-holds-barred battle had finally come. The thing is, though, if Kodamine is dead, and he is currently Lancer's master, then Lancer can't stick around. Therefore, there is no way that that is the same as the last battle. There is nothing binding Lancer, and Archer is now fighting the fastest heroic spirit out of all the servants. Anguish escapes from Archer for a second time. Even his hawk-like eyes cannot follow Lancer's spear. The spear's trajectory is no more than a point to start with. That was changing into a flash of light now. He cannot see the tip of the spear closing in on him. Even the movements of Lancer's arms and legs are speeding up to reach the realm that is no longer visible. He was able to dodge this much because he knew Lancer's spear from the last battle. He is doing what he can now, using the fact that he is inferior to Lancer when it comes to hand-to-hand combat as a weapon to handle his fierce attacks. He is adjusting where he gets attacked. The knight in a red cloak limits the attacks by creating fatal openings himself. Of course, he will die if he does not dodge these attacks. But if he is going to die getting wounds all over his body from trying to avoid an instant death, he'd rather die an instant death with all limbs intact. Otherwise, it will all have been for nothing. Fortunately, Lancer is still underestimating Archer. No, he is simply immersed in the battle itself. If they are going to keep on killing each other with just a difference in ability, then he can think of another 30 ways of showing openings. Predicting the enemy's movements using information gained previously, and breaking the status quo from cultivated battle experience. That is the mind of steel called the mind's eye that is gained from training. This is nothing deemed as extraordinary. This is the only skill that he possesses. It is not innate like Saber's instinct, but it is a simple weapon that anyone can gain from training in a frank manner. Lancer withdraws his spear and stops for a bit. He observes the disgruntled bowman in red. It is obvious who's going to win. Archer has no chance of victory at hand-to-hand combat. That is something he knew. If Archer is a bowman like his name states, this cannot be a fair fight unless he is shooting from a distance. But he blocked the attacks. He has been at an advantage and should not last a few more blows, but he blocked my full force attacks. Is he strong, or am I going easy on him? I sneer. Archer is a mysterious servant. I should admit that he's strong in that regard. But it is unthinkable that I'm going easy. The first attack was aimed at the neck to blow his face off. The second attack was aimed at the heart to smash his ribcage. There's no way I'm going easy. There's no way, but it is certainly true that I wasn't trying to kill him. What is there in a serious battle? A battle between servants comes down to a battle of noble phantasms. The fact that I'm cornering him without using that fatal attack is proof that I'm going easy. That reason? Well, the cause seems to be the expression of gratitude that he had never heard before.
まったく本気か俺は。
This is actually a fun fight here. Again, flashing back to so many episodes ago, it's round 2, baby. The swords clash harder than before. Both parties spring apart with sparks that fly. Lancer's full force blow, as if he is about to hit himself, is offset by Archer's full force attack. The distance between them is about 5 meters. With that distance, Lancer would be able to close in at an instant.
下せんな。
The spearman in blue murmurs.
貴様、これだけの腕を持っていながらキャスターについたのか。貴様取りんならば、キャスターになぞ遅れは取るまい。
Lancer stops admitting murderous intent, but there is no opening in his stance. At that, Archer slightly smiles.
驚いたな。何を言い出すかと思えば、まだそんなことを口にするのか。ランサー、私は少しでも勝算の高い手段を取っただけだ。リンがどう思うと、私はこれ以外の手段はないと判断した。
His voice, full of confidence, has no sense of guilt. The knight in red actually did not regret betraying his master.
そうかよ。尋ねた俺がバカだったぜ。
Archer agrees. Lancer snorts and quietly raises the tip of his spear.
確かにお前は戦上手だ。そのお前が取った手段ならば、せいぜいうまく立ち回るだろう。だが、それは王道ではない。貴様の剣には、決定的に誇りが欠けている。
His fighting spirit rises. Seeing that, the bowman in red smiles in delight.
ああ、あいにく誇りなどない身だからな。だが、それがどうした？英雄としての名が汚れる？笑わせないでくれよ、ランサー。汚れなど、成果で洗い流せる。そんな余分なプライドはな、そこいらの犬にでも食わせてしまえ。
Wow. In an instant, the slightly relaxed atmosphere completely changes. The air freezes. The demonic spear with the magical energy to disrupt the order of the world and invert cause and effect is raised. The murderous intent that is released is nothing like before. In the midst of the tension where it is difficult to even breathe.
犬と言ったな、アーチャー。
Okay, it got really blue all of a sudden. The spearman in blue bellows in a voice that could drive crows away from the battlefield.
事実だ、空風林。英雄の誇りなぞ持っているのなら、今のうちに捨てておけ。
よく言った。ならば、お前が先に行け。
Lancer jumps back greatly. It is not the matter of distance to thrust his spear. The distance that opened between them in an instant is over 100 meters. That's crazy. Lancer leaps back to the entrance of this clearing and crouches on all fours like a beast. Archer's 5 senses freeze. Is it fear or awe? Whichever it is, he immediately understood the meaning of Lancer's retreat. The fact that his enemy's next attack is literally a fatal attack.
俺のゲイボルクの能力は効いているな、アーチャー。
Lancer, crouching on the ground on all fours, raises his waist. His form is like a sprinter waiting for the starting pistol. Archer does not have the time to answer. The knight in red throws away his swords and immerses himself in his own mind as fast as possible. But will he make it? Lancer's posture. If his demonic spear is like the legend, the noble phantasm that blocks it cannot be superficial.
行くぞ。この一撃。手向けとして受け取るがいい。
The blue panther runs. Even his after image is far away. Lancer sprints towards Archer like the wind. The distance between both parties is 100 meters. Lancer is not going to thrust his spear with that running start. The blue figure crouches. The spearman that ran through 50 meters in an instant suddenly leaps up from the ground. His body flies through the air. He holds up the magical spear that always pierces the heart once it's thrust. Space distorts. According to the legend, that spear scatters numerous arrowheads once it is thrust into the enemy. In other words, the spear of causality responds to the words. The spearman in blue leans back as if drawing a bow. And he slams down that blow with a roar. It is a noble phantasm that was made to be thrown. The spear that always pierces the heart once it is aimed. The cursed noble phantasm that cannot be avoided and will continue attacking the target every time it is avoided. That is Gebolg, the spear of destruction possessed by the hero who never lost once in his lifetime. There is no way to stop the thing that is shot out with all of Lancer's magical energy. It cannot be avoided or dodged. Nor dodged. Therefore, it is fatal. There is no way for one to survive once they are targeted by the magical spear. The magical bullet approaches. In a split second, the knight in red closes his eyes as if accepting his death.
I am the bone of my soul.
Oh shit, English. The Thorn of Light clashes. The moment the Thorn of Destruction comes falling from the sky to directly hit the knight in red.
No.
Oh shit. What is this? The true name is spoken, shaking the air. The spear and shield clash. The spear of death, which breaks through every protective wall and evasion. That spear is stopped. The fatal spear is stopped by Archer's noble phantasm swirling up a storm of wind and scattering debris. The 7 flower petals that appeared from somewhere protect Archer and oppose the magical bullet that tries to shoot him down. Who would know? This protection itself is Aias. The only thing said to have stopped the javelin of the great hero is the shield of Aias. There are 7 barriers shaped like flower petals, and each layer is as strong as a castle wall. It is a bounded field noble phantasm that is invincible against any projectile weapon targeted towards the user. A thrown spear would surely be defeated by the shield without penetrating even one of the petals. At the very least, Archer does not know of any spear that can break through this shield. And yet, that fatal spear breaks through it effortlessly. I was gonna say, like, unless his shield is able to do the same type of bullshit that the spear can do, distorting space and everything, then there's no way. The 6th flower petal is destroyed, excuse me. Only one remains. The magical spear reaches the 7th petal that has never been pierced through and doesn't stop its force. The unstoppable thorn of the magical spear. With that right in front of him. With a roaring spirit, Archer pours all of his magical energy into his own noble phantasm. And Lancer, who has landed on the ground, stares at the servant in front of him. Archer has wounds all over his body. His stretched out arm is like a decayed branch. His face is distorted in pain, not only from the wounds on his arm, but from enduring a headache beyond his imagination.
驚いたな。アイアスを貫通しうる槍がこの世にあろうとは。君のそれはオリジナルのグングニルを上回っている。
The knight in red compliments the spearman in blue from the bottom of his heart. There is no way such a thing would get through to Lancer. His strongest attack, the attack that made him a hero, was blocked. He is so angry that his glare should be able to kill someone. But that anger is almost erased by a strong wonder. It is too strange. It is true that Archer is a mysterious servant. His identity is unknown. He carries twin swords while being a bowman, and even showed a shield that could block Lancer's strongest attack. That is abnormal. Such a hero cannot be found anywhere in this world.
貴様、何者だ?
That is the big question, isn't it?
ただの騎兵だが、君の見立ては間違いではない。
ざれ言を。騎兵が宝具を防ぐほどの盾を持つものか。
場合によっては持つだろう。だが、それもこのざまだ。魔力の大部分を消費したというのに、腕をやられ、アイアスも完全に破壊された。まったく、私が持ち得る最強の守りだったのだがな、今。
Lancer keeps glaring at Archer, who is bantering. Then,
それより、気づいたか、ランサー。キャスターめ、存外に苦戦していると見える。こちらに向けられていた監視が止まった。
Archer adds, raising his arms as if to surrender.
そうかよ。そうじゃねえかとは思ったけどな。
無論だ。言っただろう。勝率の高い手段だけを取ると。
とことん気に食わねえ野郎だな、てめえ。
Lancer says bitterly and turns his back to Archer. His job is done. His role to distract Archer is meaningless now. There is no need for him to support Rintosika any longer. The spearman in blue turns on one heel to return to his master and lays on the grass to observe some more. Interesting. Lancer is also quite the character, isn't he? In his own way. Not the same way as Archer, but you know. Alrighty, we'll wrap it up on that one. What an episode, guys. God damn. What an episode. That was just crazy. Absolutely nuts. I'm excited for the next one to see how these battles are gonna go down here. But it looks like we're finally at the end game of this route, supposedly. Unless there's like other surprises waiting for us around the corner of these battles. I'd be surprised if that is the case, but at the same time, not too surprised. This game is really good at, you know, just coming around the corner with a big ol' hammer, you know? Sledgehammer, if you will. But thank you all for tuning into this one. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.